Well, today we are talking about negativity.
Mm-hmm. What about
We're not
negativity?
not going to be negative to each other
No,
unless you do something really stupid like
which is
forget your
possible.
password for Restream or
Well,
you
I didn't
know.
forget it. I just never knew it. I wrote it down and then never committed it to memory.
um Hi Mel, how's it going?
Oh, hey, there's my wife. You want to come down? You're welcome to come sit down here.
So, I
What's
think
up,
there's a
Dan?
lot of really interesting things, and I know that you obviously agree with this,
Yeah.
around negativity in content creation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's a lot of ways that negativity can kind of seep in, whether it is from you as the creator, just being negative like towards yourself, towards the content that you're creating, whether it's the negativity that is coming from your community to you,
Mm-hmm.
people being toxic in chat, people leaving terrible comments, but also the age old, everybody knows that negativity sells, right?
Yeah.
Like putting out negative content can get you views. So,
Mm-hmm.
how do you manage stuff like that? And how do we I don't know what we want to how where we're actually going to go with that, but we were just going to at least talk about it.
I have a lot of things to say about it because you and I have talked a lot about it.
Mm.
I feel a very specific way. I think my audience knows that. Um, Also, I guess we should for anybody who hasn't been here on one of Thursday's streams, we should probably tell you exactly what's going on
That's
here.
fair. Yeah, yeah.
This is, and we're doing this right now, like for the foreseeable future here on Twitch, also, but we're also streaming on YouTube, correct? On
Correct.
the on the
On
SideQuest
the
YouTube channel,
Yep.
and we are also in the Discord, our private Discord. Um, which I don't know. You want to explain real quick what is SideQuest strategies for the people who haven't
Yeah, so
been in here?
just think about us as your friendly neighborhood NPCs that just want to help you along your
Oh,
journey of content creation.
uh-huh.
Sorry if that was a little too close to a different universe over there.
Yeah,
But
I am a yeah.
yeah, the
Uh,
good thing is we don't just have like two pre-programmed lines that we just spout over and over again. We're NPCs that have like not finished, but like we are level
Done.
80 already. Like
Hmm.
we've reached. I don't even know if I like the example of we've reached end game, but like end game content. But like we've experienced a lot over the years. Both of us have some very interesting experience with this game called content creation, and we just want to share it with everybody because I think the biggest thing at the end of the day that a lot of people don't uh, understand
Quit
about
fighting,
content
Robbie.
creation is that content creation is not a zero sum game. It is not if people watch you, that I'm not going to get any views because of it. Like just because Topher tells everybody the strategies that he used to become as successful as he is, and other people start using those strategies, it's not like he's going to start losing views because of it.
Hmm.
Like the
This
more
isn't a
that,
pie.
yeah, right. Like, I mean, theoretically there is, but like none of us are
It's a
at a
very
point
large pie.
like, yeah, Mr. Beast is at that point where he's like, well, he's getting pretty close to like maxing out where how many people you can have subscribed to a certain channel, right? But like
Hmm.
nobody else is at the point where they're worried about you should be worried about losing viewers to a different person or something. Like there are plenty of people watching content, whether it's live streams, videos, whatever kind of content you're making. So
Hmm.
we just want to share that with people
Yeah.
and help people to make them you know hopefully be able to reach your goals and complete your side quests.
Yes.
So
Some would say we are coaching. Some would even say, I see. I've gone to the future and have come back,
okay.
and I don't know if you know this, but like 5 years from now, we're
Oh,
sort of heralded as like the Tony Robbins of content creation.
wow.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
know
what I've
that.
heard.
Yeah.
I had to sort of stay, I can't the whole Back to the Future thing. You're not supposed to let
Mm.
you see yourself in the future. And I want to create this whole time space continuum thing, but
Okay.
we're getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, basically that's what we're doing. Hopefully, I'm not breaking up any more species. I turned my gain down a little bit on the Discord side. Yeah, we're just coaching, sharing the stuff that
Mhm.
we've learned, and especially stuff like we're going to talk about tonight. I feel very passionate. What's up, Joe? How are you? The cake was a lie. The cake wasn't a lie, Renegade. It was delicious, and yeah, I feel very strongly about, especially like tonight's topic, and I get asked these questions a lot. And so, I think we decided it'd be a very fun platform for us. So,
Mhm.
um, we have SideQuest Strategies has its own Discord. It is a paid Discord. You could go there and join, and on the Discord channel, will be there will be a number of us in there just discussing ideas. You can also bounce ideas if you have a video that you're going to post. Trek is a really great example, who is posting his own videos now on his YouTube channel. Um, if you want to know, like, hey, I'm thinking about this thumbnail. What do you think? Or, what kind of field dressing should this video have? The title and the description. And these are all questions that I
Mhm.
asked Devin, last year when we started working together.
Mhm.
And so it's just a place where you can sort of,
Yeah.
have a place to go and bounce ideas and learn a lot of the stuff that we have already experimented with. And that's not to say, I'll be the first to tell you, that's not to say that what you are thinking that nobody else is doing, or that everybody else is actively telling you not to do. I know it was a Portal reference. I'm just joking. Gladys, man. Um, but that's not to say that the crazy thing you're thinking won't work, because I was told many times that something wouldn't work, and then it
Mhm.
ended up working out. But there are certainly things that I wish I would have known early on,
Mhm.
that people, you watch these videos about content creation, and from my perspective, from somebody who's done it and who has lived this and has grown a channel, grown multiple channels, and has been, moderately, modestly successful doing it. I look at some of these videos and I'm like, that's actively bullshit. It's like, I think it is. Maybe it worked for that person, but uh, you know, have that discussion.
Yeah.
I think it's something you and I, Devin, have had plenty of discussions over the last year and some change or whatever of working with each other, where it's like, I don't think that's right at all. Like, why would I do that? And
Yep.
just being able to, whether it works or not, being able to have that discussion to
Mhm.
then understand why it may actually work or why it may not work
Yeah.
is a really great thing. I think that it's really, it's, yeah,
I
topic.
think the other really cool thing is that with a lot of content creation is putting something out there, seeing if it works, and if it does, like iterating on it and doing it again and making it better. And if it doesn't work, is figuring out what went wrong, iterating on it and making it better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I think we've got a really great amount of information here, right? Because Topher has put out a lot of content. He's been doing, trial and erroring this, social media for many years at this point already, right? I think that's, that's an invaluable thing to be able to get an insight into, as well as, I mean, I've worked with hundreds of people creating video content and doing this kind of thing too. I've seen a lot of back end YouTube analytics on channels. I've seen a lot of different stories of different people doing different things. So just being able to go through that kind of stuff is having that kind of experience and merging it together with everybody else that's in the Discord server
Mhm.
is really cool.
Yeah.
But I think the other big thing too about the Discord server is it's a giant community.
Right.
Um, we're all becoming friends in there, right? Like it is it, there. I think I've mentioned this in every single podcast that we've done so far. Is just like there is something about being around other content creators that is so amazing because nobody else around you understands. Nobody else gets it. Nobody else uh, knows what we're doing on the back end, right?
Mhm.
Even if somebody else watches every single one of your videos, they don't know what you're doing in the background. They don't know that we had a hour-long phone call before this tonight
Yeah.
talking about content, talking about different and yesterday another phone call or was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
Day before yesterday. Yeah.
Talking about like your shorts again. We were talking about literally your strategy and maybe moving to different kinds of videos and different
Mhm.
cadences and different all of this different stuff, right? Being able to talk to other content creators is just so nice because
Yeah.
they understand, other content creators understand what you're doing behind the scenes. They understand that that video is only 30 seconds to a minute long, but you might have taken 3 hours to script it, to film it, to edit it, or more, right? Like
Mhm.
it could very easily take, a very long time, especially when you're starting out. So being able to talk to people that get that understand that is super cool.
Yeah, and the other thing too is one of the reasons why I wanted to start doing this in the first place was to help people understand. The whole reason I started making content, and I've talked about this before, was for my kids. I don't want my kids to fall into the same trappings that I did growing up in the 80s, or that like my parents did, or that even their parents did. We didn't have the same options uh, that we have today, or that our kids are going to have. And that option is to make a career out of the thing that you just love and are passionate about, and that you're talking about, and that you know a lot about. And for me, it just happens to be like retro nostalgia, video games and movies and all that sort of stuff, Um, but it could be anything. It
Yeah.
literally could be anything. It could be gardening. It could be anything. You can
Mhm.
make a career out of doing that if you are passionate enough about it. And this is something that I don't think a lot of people still to this day understand. And going back to what you said, very few people understand what we do. My family does not understand it. Um,
Yeah.
they're just like, you make videos on the internet, and I'm at the point now where in my life, in my career, I'm poised to make a very large change where I'm probably in the very near future not going to be working the job that I've been working for the last 25 years. The job that I don't really love, the job that I'm not in love with. It's and I'm going to be doing this as a career, hopefully for the rest of my life. And so that is something that I think more people need to understand. And the more people that understand it, I think the happier people would be in their life, not having to go to work. We're very
Mm.
few people, like
Yeah.
1%ers, get to ever experience what it's like to make a living doing something you 100% love and are passionate about. There's a handful of people that they like their job,
Mhm.
like it's cool. It's not bad. I felt that way probably for like the first, well, no, I never really felt that way. But like, you work with computers in your day
I
job,
do.
right? Like you don't hate your job.
I wouldn't say I hate it, no.
Except for maybe today when
Today
on the
was
call,
rough, but, you know
but like for the most part, there are
yeah.
some of us that get to pick that end up in a position where it's like, yeah, I could change a few things. This is one of those cases where you could change whatever you want about it, and you can make like a really good living doing
Yeah.
it and being comfortable.
Mhm.
And I think it's something that everybody should know about.
Yeah.
Which brings me to tonight's topic, because this topic was something that I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
What? Identify as rich. Yeah. Rich and wealthy, two very different things. I am rich. I am not wealthy yet. Rich. I'm rich. I got an awesome family. I got a beautiful wife. I got 2 kids that are healthy, that are awesome, and like all this cool stuff. I'm rich. Just got to figure out how to make that money off of it. So anyways, going back to, tonight's topic.
Yeah.
Does negativity work for content creation? And this is something, man, am I so passionate about. I've built a career, basically, if that's what you want to call what I do, off of this topic.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of really, really interesting directions that we can go with this topic. So I don't know if you have those like conversation starter questions up in front of you that I sent you earlier, but there's a lot of really like I usually send Topher like 3 questions.
This was a lot.
This one I sent him. I sent 11. Like,
well, you had A, B, and C,
starters.
and then you had like sub bullet points for each one.
I think there are so many amazing ways that we can
go.
So
let's just address it right off the bat. Lantern, what's up? I see it launch people, but not sustain them. Negative focus is not sustainable model. You're exactly right, and that's where I was going to get at. Let's go right off the bat and say, like, does negative content get you more exposure? Yes. I don't think there's any 2 ways around it. There's a reason why the nightly news talks about the person who got arrested, the murder that happened up the street, the finger they found in the chili at Wendy's. Like, there's a reason why this is what they talk about on the nightly news. You don't read about the person who went and donated to a homeless shelter. You don't, very seldomly, but you don't, because that stuff does sell. It brings in numbers. But just like, who was that? Lantern pointed out, I truly believe that it's not a sustainable model. It is purely a growth thing. And the way I look at it is very simple. I'm a gardener, so I like to garden. A lot of my videos were gardening, are still gardening. When you start with a garden plot or a garden bed, and you don't touch it at all, you just let it, you just water it, weeds will grow, right? That's just, weeds will grow. You don't want weeds in your garden. I mean, maybe some of you do, not that kind of weed, but like the ones that take over. The one that you don't want weeds, right?
Yeah.
What you want is, you want these beautiful flowers, you want awesome vegetables and fruits and all that stuff. But those are things, with some rare exceptions, those are things that you have to actively plant seeds for. You have to plant those seeds and you have to nourish them. The weeds are going to grow by themselves. And if you let the weeds grow, there will be an abundance of them. But they're not going to serve you in the same way that something like, an edible vegetable or fruit or a beautiful flower will. It's the same goes with negative content. And this is how I see it. I've watched people that I'm, even friends that I'm close with in this industry, do really well off of a video that is not even like fully negative. It's not like they're just totally, well, in some cases, totally trashing things, but like, it could be something as simple as, you watch convention videos, and convention videos are really notorious for this. You get these people that walk up with their DJI mics clipped to the end of a fucking pencil or something, right? So stupid. And they're like, hot take. What's what's the worst anime character ever? And it's interesting, and you get this all the time. I watched a video the other day where somebody was walking up to random people at a gaming expo asking the question, what is the worst Mario game of all time? And I see people asking questions like, I've been asked this question probably 3 times at expos when I do panels. What's your hottest take? Like, for a long time I was like, what the fuck is a hot take? Like, it's a new menu item at McDonald's breakfast or something. I don't know what a hot take is. But there's a reason why when people are asking these sorts of questions, there's a reason why they ask for the negative aspect of it. And the truth be told, it is because those are going to generate more reactions, more interactions, which then unfortunately sort of build the algorithm.
Yeah.
Right. Because the more comments you get, the more, whether it be likes or dislikes, it travels. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? Like, it's always the person that complains.
Yeah. So
it can be very attractive, especially when you are starting out and your first video that ever goes viral, you know who I'm looking at.
Yep.
When you get this video that you've never had a video do over 2,000 views, and then all of a sudden you post this video where you're kind of trashing on this thing and it gets 2 million views, you go, oh, I got to repeat that. And so you do that over again, and then you do that over again, and then you do that over again. And maybe some of them do well. But then the next thing you know, you got like your comment sections are just filled with people talking a bunch of shit. They're all arguing with each other. Nobody likes each other. You're not building a healthy community. You're generating lots of comments. Like, I had somebody ask me, I will not name the person, but I had somebody ask me to do a video with him at SoCal Gaming Expo. And they were like, what's a video game that you would love to see remade or come back? Which I thought was a cool question. At least they weren't asking me what's the worst video game of all time. And I kind of like said something, and I don't even remember what my answer was, but I was like, oh man, I feel like that one's going to get, I said to them, I feel like that one's going to get some people like bashing on me or whatever. And what's the word that they used? You gotta harvest the negative comments or clickbait, or I don't remember what they said, but it was like, now that's good. That's what you want. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want. I would rather have 5 super positive comments than 50 negative comments any day of the week. And I know that sounds crazy for somebody who wants to build a channel, but that's just the kind of community that I want to build. I don't want to argue with my community. I don't want to look at my community, the comments from the people in my community, and feel bad about them or feel upset that they're like, you and your stupid beard or whatever people, whatever somebody would say negative. Like, I don't want any of that. I come to my content and I create my content to give me fulfillment and to make me and the others around me in the community happy, and to be uplifting and positive, and to share in the stuff that we all love. I don't care about the game that you don't like. I don't care that you think Super Mario Brothers 2 is the worst Mario game. I want to know what's your favorite. Yeah. What's the best Mario game? Unfortunately, that question doesn't generate as many comments. Because people are like, oh, yeah, Mario 64 is pretty good. But when somebody comes in a video and they're just like, what's the worst Mario game of all time? And they're like, Mario 64. Everybody just loses their minds. They're just like, gah! Yeah. And then they're, it's rage bait. Yeah. They're looking for people to do that. And that's just not the community that I want to create.
Sure. I think that makes sense. Is there any other reasons why, it might be not beneficial for somebody to be posting hot takes and negative takes all the time? Because not gonna lie, you're making it sound kind of appealing
It
because
does sound appealing, right?
of how much how many comments and how much interaction, and if that's what the algorithm wants, why not give the algorithm what it wants?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like reading some of the comments to make sure that people aren't like asking me negative fan base is yeah, it's volatile. So the question is, why would somebody do that, right?
Yeah,
Because it does. We as creators or creative people in general, it doesn't even have to be content creation, because this applies to any artistry, anything that would be considered
sure.
creative. It could be creating content, it could be making music, it could be making film, telling
Mhm.
stories. We have, all of us in this industry, the arts, have a tendency to go back to the well. And by well, I mean like the thing that your first thing that was like really took off.
Yeah.
And I remember the very first thing that I ever did that took off, went viral, was the mystery plant video.
Mm.
And I tried to repeat that success 3 years in a row. And to varying degrees. Actually, I think season 2, year 2 was actually even better than year 1. So
Yeah.
it worked a little bit, but when you have that one video that does so well, it just blows your socks off, and you get yourself in what you would consider a rut, where it's like, oh man, my videos aren't getting a lot of views, and it's been months since I've had one that, you know, um, it's easy to look at it and go. Musicians do this all the time. It's like they make one hit record or whatever, or even one hit song, and then 3 albums go by, and it starts to kind of go like this, and they're like,
Mm.
man, that that one song really did well for us. We should do another one like that. And so when you've had a video that does well, and by do well, I mean does numbers, views, comments,
Mm.
whatever, um, and it is a negative video, but you don't make that association, because a lot of people don't make that association.
Yeah.
They don't realize that, like, oh, this video I made was actually harvesting negativity. Um, then it's easy, after you're in a lull enough of the for long enough, it's easy to go back to that well and try
Mhm.
and recreate this
Yeah.
whole thing. And we don't realize that. We get stuck in those cycles. But I said it before, I've said it on, I think I said it on the last episode. Um, the thing that got you to where you are
Mm.
is not going to be the thing that gets you to the next spot.
Yeah,
It
absolutely. That's
never
cool.
is.
Yeah.
Um, and so the thing that people don't realize about making negative content, and it is such a wide gambit of like what just
Mhm.
even defining negative content is a
Yeah.
difficult thing to do. But the thing that people don't realize is, just because a video gets you 1 million views, or generates 1,000 comments, or 10,000 likes, or 100,000 likes, whatever, just because it does that doesn't mean it's cultivating you a genuine audience, community, or fan base.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because 9 times out of 10, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Not 99 times out of 100, it doesn't.
Right.
Um,
And I think it's really easy to look at something like my channel too, right? Is very similar in that kind of sense, right? Like you can look at all of your analytics and see which videos are getting the most comments, which ones are getting the most subscribers, which ones are getting the most watch time, right? The people are the most invested in and paying attention to you.
mhm.
And I bet you if you looked at your channel and you had, half were super negative focused, half were, more positive and fun loving, that you would see the analytics difference, right?
100%. I mean, a really great example is the very first video that I had that had any kind of virality on YouTube in specific was season 2 of Mystery Plant. Um, that video did, I don't remember exactly what the numbers were, but it did 6-7 million views maybe, or something like that.
Mm.
And I got 30,000 subs from that video.
Mhm.
I've never to this day, I don't think, I mean, you probably would know better than me, but I don't think I've ever had another video that has generated so many subscriptions to my channel from one video.
Yeah.
But I recently had a friend make a video on YouTube, short, just like the mystery plant, that did like 11 million subscriptions. I mean, 11 million views. And I was like, damn, you know, you had to have just net yourself like a ton of new subs from that, right? No, it was an incredibly low number,
Yeah.
under 100
Yeah.
or something like that. And I'm like, damn, really? And I went back and watched the video, and it wasn't even a super, super negative video. But it was sort of celebrating a negative aspect of our industry of gaming, and selling this idea that that there was something going away.
Yeah. It didn't have that personality that, you know, you wanted to like be friends with and watch more of those videos.
No, because there were so many people commenting on it. You know,
Yeah.
the algorithm probably kept
Mm-hmm.
spitting it out or whatever.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the matter? You all right? Oh, she gonna go play some games.
Nice. Nice.
What's she gonna play? Oh, Fortnite.
Nice.
But yeah, you know, it is, people don't, I don't think people realize that. They don't take that into account. Yeah.
I think one of the other things I wanted to also bring up is I think there's a lot of different ideas of negative content, right? Like you could make an entire video based on negativity, based on, you know, bashing something or someone or whatever. But I also think that there's opportunities to not necessarily be negative, but, you know, part of being a community and having shared beliefs with the people around you is is that shared, you know, dislike of those other things, right? Those things that oppose you. So, you know, if you really make your content focused around, you know, positivity, you are inherently against negativity, right? So we are actively right now being negative towards negativity.
Sure.
So like, you know, there's going to be those types of
Like
things
Bizarro world.
that, you know, that actually can be a really, really good thing to lean into, but your content at the end of the day shouldn't focus on those things, right? So
Yeah.
like, again, my channel being about mostly computer building and PCs and stuff, I'm my like I have these inherent negative biases towards Apple products, right? I'm a PC guy. I build my own you know, computers. So like I don't build my channel around another another crazy computer to destroy that Mac. You know, that's not the focus of my channel. But those like hints are there because I know that 90% of my audience is going to agree with that, and it's not building a community on the hatred of Apple or, you know, whatever else, whatever alternatives are out there. But those are some of those shared beliefs that can make a community stronger. So I think there's like a really fine line there between forming your channel around negativity, but also understanding that people just have opinions on things, and that's okay to not like something, right? It's okay to not like things, but we just don't want
Oh
to.
yeah, there's
We
plenty
just
of
don't
stuff
want to,
that I don't like.
right? You just don't want to build your personality on that. You
For
want to
sure.
build your personality and your
For sure.
community and everything. If you start putting that negativity out there and that's what people understand that your personality is, your entire life is this negativity towards this one thing, like those are the people that you're going to attract to watch your content and to be part of your community. So
no problem, Joe. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I just it is such a fine line.
Yeah.
Because I would like to say And I've said this before, and then I rethink it, and I'm like, man, what about that one day that I want to make that video? But like, I would never take a game and go like, man, this is an awful game. I can't wait to make a video about how awful this game is. Or like if a brand sends me something and I'm like, this is pure garbage. I cannot wait to make a video about how shitty this thing is. I just can't do it. It's just not me. It's not
Yeah.
who I am. There are flip sides to this coin, and there are downsides to it as well. One of those being, I get accused of being just like a fanboy of everything, where it's just like, oh yeah, well you said that because you got paid, and it's like, well, I'm here to tell you right now, 95% of the things I talk about, I don't get paid for. They're just things that I love. It just so happens that I want to build a channel around the things that I love and not the things that I hate.
Yeah.
So, but like you make a valid point where I'm trying to think of what would be a good example, like in my community. I feel like I have such a diverse community. There's not one thing we could all like kind of band together on, like, yeah, we all just kind of like don't like this one thing. But you do have a point. There is shared there's value in a shared viewpoint of like the oh, I hate to even say it, the dislike of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those are the kinds of things that make people feel human, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you and honestly, probably half the reason, well, there's probably a lot of reasons why you're getting comments about you're just getting paid to post about this, whatever, right? But like, if if you seem happy all the time and you just love everything, it's that Instagram feel, like people look at your Instagram profile, and if it looks perfect, everybody just assumes that your life is just perfect. But sometimes it's those comments about something that you had a bad day and that this happened, and that you didn't have a good time with this game or whatever. Sometimes it's those shared feelings. I mean, how do you feel about things like Marvel Rivals?
I mean, right now
And
it's been long enough that I'm like,
you'd
I could
probably
play
play
it.
it again. Okay, all
Yeah,
right, all right.
I'm
Well,
up for a couple rounds. But yeah, totally. I mean, I think, and again, this is it is. I'm on the Dave Chappelle side of things when it comes to talking about certain things. As long as we're all sort of like laughing at it or about it, and it's making people feel better, or it's bringing people together. Like if everybody can band together, if a group of people can band together over their common like dislike for Drake and the 99 Dragons,
yeah.
one of the worst rated games of all time for the
Okay.
Xbox,
All right.
then I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is people using influence to steer the consensus of an uninformed viewer, possibly. That bothers me the most. Or people, the phrase that I cannot stand is rage bait. I hate that phrase. I wish it didn't exist. I wish that my kids didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I wish my kids didn't know that it existed, because that Wolverine game does look pretty good. Because, god dang, like, why would you ever want to bait somebody into being pissed off? Like, that sounds like the kind of person who would go to a bar just to look for a fight.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that at all. I'm sure there's people out there that, like, they love that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's
Not for me.
finding a fight at the bar is just a heck of a lot easier to do than finding a cute girl that wants to go home with you.
Not for me.
Well, that's fair.
Was my wife watching? I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. It's it is. You'll see me periodically. I actually, who said that about Wolverine? Ford Torrin.
Yeah.
Um, I last night on last night's stream, I kind of went on like what I call a Topher rant about the Wolverine game. And you guys probably know this about if you're part of this community, you probably already know this about me, but a lot of the things that I do are sort of like a gaff. They're a grift. They're like I'm just being funny, or I'm poking at my wife or whatever. But last night I kind of went off on the whole like, man, yeah, the Wolverine game looks awesome, but fucking why does it have to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive? Like I don't understand. I get that Sony owns the studio and they want to put it on their console, and that's cool and all, but like, can we at least have it on PC, Sony? Like I'm not saying you got to put it on the Xbox. That's fine. You don't have to put it on the Xbox, but like, share with the rest of us. I want to play it on my Ally. I want to play it on something other than a TV and a PlayStation 5. And then I found myself like kind of ranting and raving a little bit about it. And then
Yeah.
that
So
was
there
like,
you go. That's a thing that you and probably a lot of your community share a negative opinion on. But I think the important part here is that you're not building your entire personality on that. You're not building your entire social media presence on that one feeling.
yeah,
But chances are the rest of your audience feels very similar to you in that way, that you don't really like console exclusivity, right?
yeah,
It's so I think those are the kinds of things. As long as it is contained, as long as you're not building your entire channel, your entire personality, your entire community off of it, a little bit of negativity towards something that
it can be
your
funny
audience
and
shares.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
I
good.
think my biggest thing and the reason that I wanted to talk about it is in the context of starting on a journey of creating content and not
Yeah.
maybe understanding the big picture on all of that. It can be a very slippery slope when your first video that takes off
Absolutely.
is one where you're
Yeah.
super dogging on DK oldies or whatever. Where
Okay. So one other thing that I wanted to ask you about, you've got a pretty big set of channels. You've got a fairly large live stream. I'm sure you've gotten your fair share of negative comments on your videos, in your stream, and all that kind of stuff. I just didn't know if you had any quick tips for new creators when they get their negative comments, when they get those things that happen from their community. They're not the ones being negative, but they're people that are watching their content might be
yeah,
negative.
yeah, this is a difficult thing to deal with at first. And in my opinion, this is probably one of the things that this is one of the things that keeps people away from this hobby, this profession, whatever whatever you want to call what we do. It is the fear of people not liking what you're talking about, or people not liking how you look, or people not liking how you talk, people not liking the X-Men arcade machine in the background, whatever it is. Somebody, no matter how positive your content is, and mine's pretty positive, you will get negative feedback, especially as your channels grow. Now, this is a catch-22 because early on in your journey of creating, I always recommend reading every comment. I think it's incredibly telling. I think it's very important for multiple reasons. First being the most obvious, you want to know what your community's thinking.
Yeah.
Like, if you had a booger in your nose the whole time, you want to know that, like, damn it, God, I got to remember to check my nose next time. You know what I mean? Like, there are everything from that all the way up to like, when I first started making content, I didn't use the wireless mics clipped to me like I do. I used a little shotgun mic that I mounted on my camera, and my camera would be here, and I would speak at the microphone. And obviously I edited my own videos, and so like it seemed like it sounded fine to me. But when you read through the comments, you see like, oh, if 5 people in this video made the comment that I sounded muffled, or I sounded a little too far away, or it was too this. Those are the sorts of things that you can learn. You also learn, like, do you know how many times I have generated new content off of listening to my audience talk about the things they love? Like, plenty of times I'd make a video. Forgotten Game Friday is a really great example. Like every Friday I do the Forgotten Game Friday thing. And when I read through those comments, I will say I don't get to read through the comments as much anymore just because of the sheer number of them. But like early on when I was reading through the comments, I'd be like, man, 5 people mentioned this game. This is a game that I would have never put on Forgotten Game Friday because I would think nobody would even know what it is. But people actually remember this game. And so then I would make, like, the next Friday, be like, I'm finally gonna make that video, and then I make the video and it becomes one of my bigger Forgotten Game Friday segments. And I found that out because I was listening to the audience, or at least seeing what they're engaging with and seeing what they liked the most. So it's very important. That's reason number 1 why you should pay attention to the comments, especially when you're first starting out. Your videos only get a couple comments.
Oh yeah.
You know, when you first start posting videos, you might get 1 or 2, and then as you grow, you know, might get 5 or 6, and so as you start getting those, it's important to. Now, I'm a big proponent that you should not let the audience guide your direction. And we've had this discussion before. I think you come first, audience comes second. But you do get to see what's going on in the minds of your audience.
Oh, yeah.
Second thing is, you will get those negative comments. People will tell you you're ugly, or your voice, you got a stutter, or whatever, or
you look like Shrek's wife, or
yeah. Or like, you know, what, you stupid tank tops all the time, or what kind of moron would get Mario tattooed on their arm? I got that a couple times. So you will get those. And the hardest part is, not everybody chooses to do this, but I choose to have my family involved in my videos. This is their choice. It's not like I force them to do this. The whole point in me even making the channel was for my kids, because that's what they want to do. But one of the hardest things is when somebody says something about your family. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm gonna, you know, that's difficult. But reason number 2 why you should always read your comments, especially early on, is it gives you hard skin. You have to develop thick skin in order to do this. And I have my own way that I internally deal with negativity and negative comments towards me. Luckily, I don't get a ton of them, but I do get them. And also, luckily, like, I went to film school. I've been doing like video work for a long time. And for the last 25 years, I've been in a band that tours around and plays and releases music. So I've had my fair share of, you suck, dickhead. And like, you know, so my skin was sort of tough to begin with. Yeah. But once you start to understand the psychology of the commenters that do comment negative, you just always have to think to yourself, like, how many times, let's all be honest with ourselves right here. Let's all be honest. How many times you walk up the street, through a mall, into a restaurant, wherever, at a gas station, and you look at somebody and they're wearing something funny, or their haircut's weird, or they're dressed in a way, they look, you know, something that just doesn't do it for you, or something that bothers you. They're wearing socks with Crocs, whatever. And like, shivering. My wife's probably wearing socks with Crocs right now. And you think in your head, you make that like snide remark in your head. We all do this shit. Yeah. All of us do it. Most of us are kind enough to not verbalize it. We just think in our head like, fucking dummy. You know, like you're thinking that while you're pumping your gas. Fucking moron.
Yeah.
You know? That's the commenter on the internet. That's all it is. It's just somebody's internal monologue that they don't have any repercussions for posting a comment because who you know, like, who cares? And so they make that comment. That's all it is. Everybody has those thoughts. And so when somebody comments something like that about you, as hard as it is to not be triggered sometimes, you just have to have empathy for the fact that, like, well, we're all sort of like that. Not all of us have a filter. And this person's just like sort of having a bad day. And once you kind of get past that, and I'm telling you, the best thing you could do for negative commenters and stuff like that is to just have internal empathy. And it's not, you don't have to feel sorry for them. You don't have to feel anything for them. It's not, that feeling is not for them. It's for you. Because that's what helps you get past the idea that somebody, one person out of the 8 billion people on the planet or whatever, thought that, you know, your hair was ugly or whatever. Who cares? Most of the time it's because they're mad that they couldn't make a video that 5 people could comment on.
Yeah.
That's usually what it comes down to. So, and then obviously I don't sit and read all 1,000 comments to every video nowadays, just because, like, I don't have the resources to do it. I would still love to. But that would be that's my suggestion to dealing with the negativity, dealing with the negative comments. You're always going to get them. It doesn't matter how clean your jokes are, how positive you stay. I make the most positive video in the world and people are still like, shill, you've sold out to, how much money did you get paid to smile in front of a chromatic or whatever? And it's like,
I really hate it sometimes that that's like, unfortunately, the answer is that, like, there's no way to stop it. It's just going to happen. There's not much that you can do about it. Obviously, you know, different platforms have different, you know, some different safeguards put in. Both Twitch and YouTube have banned words lists and, you know, obviously ways to ban people and get rid of them. You know, people that come in and try to sell free views and promote your channel and that kind of stuff, you know, you just ban them right away. But negativity is one of those things that, you just gotta, you gotta figure it out for yourself. But for the most part, you know, if you don't want to be that person, if you don't have the capacity, and you know who you are, right? Like, if you don't have the capacity to deal with those comments, to deal with those people, to feel that way and respond in a way that's going to get a decent response, you know, just don't deal with it for the most part is my advice.
Yeah, I agree. And also, like, the other little bit of advice that I could give briefly is, if you're going to respond, don't respond right away.
Yeah.
You will always have a better response if you wait an hour. I promise. Right. I promise you. You will not come off as snarky as you should. You will not. You won't come off as an asshole.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing you can do, because, like, the best advice that I could give you when it comes to people that are trolling you, or just trolls on the internet and people commenting negatively, is just to don't engage, because that's usually what people are looking for. Is they're looking to borrow your platform to get a laugh or whatever.
Yep.
And you don't engage. Now, I will say, periodically, I do like to engage.
Yeah. But only do that if you want to, if you enjoy that kind of thing, if you're in the right headspace to do it.
Yes, I don't do it to argue. I usually do it because I do genuinely want feedback. And sometimes I feel like people usually, if they're nice enough, some people are just straight assholes, but some people are nice enough to serve you what I like to call the shit sandwich, where it's like, it's a nice piece of white bread and a nice piece of white bread with a big old hot turd right in the middle, where it's like sort of complimenting, but then they're also like trying to stick it to you a little bit.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that I usually look at and go, I would like to know more, because they're clearly bothered by something that I'm doing, or maybe there's something that I can learn from this.
Yeah.
And those sometimes are the ones that I engage with, where I'm like, I need to know more. And if you have a genuine conversation with people, most of the time,
yeah,
you usually come around and you usually end up becoming friends. And those are what I call hard-earned fans.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are like, you're right, I respect you.
Dude, I had this happen not long ago. A guy commented on one of my videos and he says, again, not quote, but like very similar to this. He's like, your videos look terrible. Have you never heard of a circular polarizer? You call yourself a tech person and you don't even know how to use your camera. And I was like, what the heck is a circular polarizer? I went and watched like 4 videos in a row, and I went and bought one, and I put it on my camera, and I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing. I went and commented back, and I'm like, bro, thank you so much. I went and bought a circular polarizer. This thing is amazing. And he commented back and he's like, oh, dude, that's awesome. I'm glad that I was able to help or whatever. Like, his comment was, your videos look terrible. Like,
but you just want to, like, you also kind of want to be like, I really appreciate the advice, but don't be such a dick about it, okay?
Like, yeah. But like, I think that was the other thing, just like you mentioned, like not commenting right away and you're going to be a lot better. I think it was the same kind of thing. Like, I came back to him and it had obviously been a big stretch of time. Whatever he was going through at the time, he was now through and he was in a much better headspace.
Yeah.
And he didn't feel like hating me at that time anymore. And he was like, oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that, you know, it worked for you.
Well,
Like,
I'm
whatever.
glad that my advice in your comment about a circular polarizer helped. And I'm glad that we're friends now.
Well, yeah.
Total Trek, man. Yeah, exactly. Like the guy who accused me of rigging the giveaways.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, I really genuinely, even though he stormed out of the stream and was a total baby about it, I really did want to know what it was that we did that made him feel that way, because I don't want anybody to come to this community and feel that way. And so I was genuinely asking him, like, no, please don't go yet. I mean, you can go after we're done talking, but please talk to me just for a second and let me know what it was about what we did here that made you feel like it was rigged, because it's not. And I'd like the opportunity to explain it to you. And then maybe if I can learn something from you, I can learn how to make sure one other person next time doesn't feel that way. Because be humble. There's always something that we can learn. And there's, especially once you start to get a larger audience, there's a lot you can learn from the people who are watching. And again, unfortunately, 90% of the time it's served up as a real hot shit sandwich. But if you can manage to take, I think it was on stream last night when I was talking about the book that I had read. Not really a book, but it's more of a I don't know, felt like a TED talk or something like that on nonviolent communication. And I've done it like probably 3 times over the last umpteen years. Matter of fact, Total Trek, I need to send that to you. It's a really good lecture on nonviolent communication and being able to take something that is considered by most people criticism and being able to like sort of like deconstruct it and take all the prickly pears off of it and the needles and the razor blades and everything else until you get down to the real thing, the little piece of, candy in the middle that tells you like this is the thing that they're trying to tell you about. They just disguised it in the form of a fucking punch to the gut.
Yeah.
If you have the ability to do that, you are like 1 million times ahead of the game. Because most people can't. Most of the time when people, and that's part of the NVC training that I've been trying to do for the last umpteen years, is being able to deconstruct somebody's criticism and taking it in a way that makes me reflect on what I'm doing and how I could do it, how I could communicate that better the next time. So this one person or the next one person or 5 people don't feel like they're being attacked or don't feel triggered by something. Because the one thing I have learned about communication and being able to build rapport with people and being able to communicate with people is just that. Like when you're able to communicate something without making somebody get defensive, then the walls don't go up and you'll be able to keep that open line of communication. The second you say something that somebody takes offense to or somebody feels offended by or especially criticized, if somebody feels criticized, then the walls come up, communication completely stops. And that's when you start to get the whole like, yeah, well, fuck you kind of thing. And then communication completely breaks down.
Yeah.
So really, really important, I think, especially if you want to get into stuff like this.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, I don't know if you have anything else that you want to touch on this topic, but I feel like we've got to get to the Discord server and do
for sure.
our live chat.
So let's talk about
Q&A
that real
over
quick, so
there.
people
Absolutely.
here know what that is, what we're doing. We talked about this. People are soft, Ryan, but people will always be soft. It doesn't matter. Like in centuries to come, there will be large masses of people who are soft. But the real outliers are people like us that are able to rise sort of above that and communicate with everybody, knowing that people can be soft.
I
And
definitely
continue to grow.
I definitely thought you were going to say the people that rise above the people, the ones of us that are hard all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I am all the time.
Sorry. Okay. We should probably get off the live stream.
Yeah. So let's
get into
explain
that-
this real
that time
quick.
of night. Yeah.
We are doing this on, this is something that generally would be on the Discord server.
Mhm.
But because we are still new and we're still growing this and we're still trying to get the word out on like exactly what this is, think of it as like an extra long preview here on the Twitch channel. If you like this sort of thing, come join. There you go. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you. Come join the Discord and be a part of the conversation, because eventually that's the only place that this will be, is on the Discord. We will have this, and then directly after this, which is where we're going now, we'll be in the Discord and we'll be doing like one-on-one conversations with people in the audience.
Yeah.
So if you have a camera and a microphone, you can get up on the stage with us and video chat and ask, hey, I'm doing this video and I'm stuck at this part, or man, this part about making content really just sort of sucks. How would you suggest getting over that hump? Or what we're talking about tonight. Like, I posted this video, man, and I thought it was so good, and this guy on the comments told me that I sucked. And how do you get past that? We have those one-on-one conversations, and they're a ton of fun. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
So
awesome.
That's what we're getting ready to go do right now on the Discord server.
Yep.
It's nice to have a single topic and dedicated conversation. Yeah. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah. So if you want to go check that out, that's awesome. If you want to continue checking these out, I think for the foreseeable future, we'll probably, do like a little, I don't know, half hour. It's supposed to be a half hour, hour stream here on the Twitch channel.
Yeah. And whether or not this is live streamed on some of these channels, I think eventually it's going. Again, I think the plan is to still kind of do these, but they're going to probably make their way to the SideQuest Strategy YouTube channel. So feel free to, if you're not able to make it into the Discord server, or if you just, that's not the way that you like things, you'd rather just have something to listen to, podcast, stuff like this. Again, that YouTube channel, that's where all of these chats are going to be posted and all that kind of stuff. So.
CV211 asks a very important question. How do I get more views on my YouTube channel?
That is exactly what we talk about in the Discord server.
Yep. You should come over there, because there's more than one answer to that, and there's not one simple answer.
Exactly. I think that's the hardest part. There's not one simple answer.
Yep.
There's a couple simple answers we could give you, but they're for the Discord server.
Yep. It's nudity is one. I'm just kidding. Don't
negativity.
Do that. That'll get you nudity. Banned. Yeah. If you just took all of your clothes off and sat in front of the camera and talked about how bad DK Oldies is, I bet you would get views.
Have a good night, everybody.
See you tomorrow night here on the Twitch.